So I'm here in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm actually about to go to a Cube of Truth here and do outreach for a few hours. But I wanted to create a video before I went because I've been doing a lot of outreach recently with just people that I'm meeting like in hostels or at the places that I'm staying, and I've found what I think is a really effective form of doing activism because about a week ago I was staying in a hostel in Singapore, and I met these three guys who were really defensive about veganism when we first started talking. So I was actually sitting on my laptop in the common area in that hostel working on editing a speech that I had done in Taiwan, and these guys came up and started talking to me, and they asked me what I was doing, and I was like, oh, I'm just creating this video to post about a speech that I gave. And they asked about what the speech was about, so I said it was about veganism and animal rights, and then they immediately got really defensive and started being like, oh, well, we need meat to get protein, and just like all these random excuses. And it was interesting because I could barely get a word in. Like, they were so defensive, and every time I tried to talk about one of the excuses they made, they would just interrupt me again and say something else. So I thought that was a little crazy, and a few minutes into the conversation I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. These people obviously aren't even slightly receptive, so I don't know if it's worth it to actually spend my time and my energy talking to them. So this one guy was particularly defensive and kind of interrupting me a lot when I would try and say something. And so instead of trying to talk to him, I was like, hey, I just uploaded the speech. Can you just watch it for me? All I want is just for you to watch the speech, and then we can keep talking, but just give it a chance first. So I just handed him my laptop and my headphones, and I was like, just watch it. It's 20 minutes. And then I'll love to hear what you think afterwards. And for the first 10 minutes of the speech, every few minutes into it, he would pause it and then try and talk to me again, and I'd be like, no, just watch it first. And he kept doing that, and then halfway through, he just kind of stopped and started really paying attention and focusing on the speech. And then afterwards, it ends, and he takes out his headphones, and he was like, yeah, that was good. And I was like, do you have any other thoughts on it? And he was like, no, it was good. And so, since he still had my headphones in, I just looked up more videos on YouTube, and I showed him Earthling Ed's speech and James Aspie's speech and a bunch of outreach videos. I showed him Dairy is Scary and the Dominion trailer, and I showed him another video of me being interviewed outside a slaughterhouse after my first vigil. And so we spent hours just sitting there as I was showing him these videos, and then he had two of his friends with him too. So I pulled out my phone and stuck my headphones into my phone, and then would play a video on my phone and hand it to one of his friends for them to watch. And then with this other friend, I would be like, can I see your phone? And then I'd look it up on YouTube and hand it back to them. So I was just sitting there as these three guys around me were all listening to vegan speeches. And then as I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, this isn't exhausting for me. It's either a speech that I've already done in the past and has been recorded, or it's somebody else's speech. So I'm just sitting here. I'm not having to argue with these guys at all. Because before, it got really frustrating. They were super defensive and just not even giving me the basic respect of letting me talk. But when I was just sitting there, it was cool because I could kind of see their minds changing as they were watching the videos. And it seemed like after every new video, they would stop and just be really agreeable. And they calmed down a lot too. The one guy that was particularly defensive, his entire demeanor changed completely from when I first started talking to him to the end. And then we ended up watching Dominion together. It was 5 a.m, we hadn't slept, and I was running out of videos to show him, so I was just like, you wanna watch Dominion? And then we did. And I just feel like this is a really cool form of activism because it makes it a lot easier for the activists when you have someone that's super defensive. And I think that all we need to do is kind of get over that self-consciousness that we have, or any anxiety we might have about just like handing someone a video and asking them to watch it, because if they do, then that can pay off a ton. And this is like an experience that I've had in hostels a lot so far. So I think that, yeah, we can really use this to our advantage, and it can help us not be as frustrated, and I think it's just a super effective form of activism. So if you have any thoughts on that, then comment below and let me know. But thanks for watching.